Hello YouTube, it has been so long, but I'm glad to be back. Been 2 years, but here I am. Bash is back. For after 2 years of no uploads, I decided to come back, especially after I hit 100 subs, so thank you all. I hit it exactly actually on New Year's Eve, which was crazy, because I got the notification on New Year's Eve that I hit 100 subs. Shout out to Fist of Doom, specifically because he was the 100th sub. But yeah, we're here, we're back. I decided to wanted to upload some content. I've been missing it, and I am going to be uploading Gen 9 Draft League, and specifically a National Dex League, where the only moves banned are Hidden Power, Shed Tail, Last Respects, and Revival Blessing for our moves. And this is going to be in the WPF, or the WPF Regice division, specifically season 15 for that. WPF, if you don't know, one of the biggest draft league communities out there right now, especially for Showdown, and they actually got into the Wi-Fi scene too, with a lot of different divisions in it, as well as a lot of amazing people and spectators, and even the fantasy division, which is so sick too, where you get to place bets on coaches, which is crazy. So great place to be. Love it there. That's why I decided to upload this. And I am I am the 4th pick in this draft out of 16. And some of the stuff that went pretty early, I was kind of unsure of what I really wanted going into my pick, because things like Chien Pao went, Dragapult, and Zygarde, and I didn't know what I wanted. And just keep in mind also, there's Terra rules, by the way. 25 points for 2 Terramons, and some Pokemon are banned, such as Dragapult, right? Which is understandably Chien Pao, etc. But yeah, 25 points for Terramons. Just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, I came to my pick. Not sure what I wanted to do. The only thing I knew coming into this draft is when I saw the tier doc, I wanted to get a Terra Diggersby later on. So that meant that I wanted to pick my first pick. I didn't want to be a Terra Captain, meaning I had to take either a Mega or one of the ones that are banned, such as say Palafin or Iron Valiant kind of thing. Or I could take a Mega, like the one I was looking at, Mega Glade. So I could also take Spectrier too, but I think Spectrier is with Pursuit allowed in this tier, I just feel like it suffers a lot too, by the way, but that's besides the point. I am going, so I went into this thought process because I really wanted Terra Diggersby, especially because A12 was telling me how good it is. I just came out of a draft league where I didn't even use, it wasn't even Terra, and it got a kill leader, so really wanted to try that with Terra, and I thought it was a steal with Terra at 10 points. So going into that, as I mentioned before, Mons I was looking at Iron Valiant, Palafin, Mega Glade, and I couldn't really decide what to do with it. And because all 3 of them are really good Pokemon, all 3 of them could carry a team. They hit really hard, they have good setup, and they all have priority too. What they do really well. So I ended up going with Iron Valiant here. Nicknamed Chubba Dub after Crypto's nickname. The Crypto is the one who suggested the nickname. So Iron Valiant, very good versatility. Hits on both the physical and special side very well, and what it does what it does well. It hits hard. It could be a good setup sweeper. With the boost energy Quark Drive, it could get the speed boost, attack boost, special attack boost, depending on how you EV it, and the coverage it gets, plus the utility it gets as well, such thing as Encore, Destiny Bond, Trick, but also being able to set up with Sword Stance, Calm Mind, agility too. It has a lot of things that I really wanted, and the versatility, and specifically the speed tier, because I noticed a lot that I've been struggling a little bit with speed tiers, usually with getting a good Pokemon at a good speed tier. If I don't have like something like Qianpao, Iron Bundle kind of situation, I tend to have to grab something faster later on, and I thought like getting a faster Pokemon at base 116 speed, pretty good right off the bat. And on top of that, this since the power creep has gone up a lot, this 116 it's really good to get the speed tier right now, and I think this provides a lot for my team. And yeah, so what ended up happening was friend Kyle ended up taking Mega Glade. Surprised it didn't get taken in the first round too. And the other Pokemon I was surprised that did not get taken in the first round and made it all the way back to me was Palafin, nicknamed after Twigs because Twigs has me as a person to bet on right now for the fantasy draft. But yeah, Palafin, I'm so shocked because these were two of the Pokemon I was considering taking first round, and I got them both. Like, I don't understand how that was allowed. Palafin's amazing Pokemon, hits like an absolute truck, but first, of course, you got to get it in first in its baby form so you can transform into hero form. But it does a lot for the team. It breaks. It gives me good priority options. So, especially with the meta becoming so offensive, it's really good to have good priority options. With Iron Valiant has Shadow Sneak and Vacuum Wave, now have Palafin with Jet Punch. And Palafin hits like a truck. Yes, it struggles with certain Pokemon, but I think also at the same time, it forces a lot of prep, I think, and I could take advantage of that. Plus, it gets momentum too, so those Pokemon that might want to try to like wall Palafin, I could just flip turn out on them into something else, like maybe Iron Valiant, who could hit them like a truck too. Like, I think that's what like makes Palafin so good. It makes it so many people have to prep for it, so it makes it really. I think it makes it so much better. The stats are insane too once it gets the hero form. Base 160 attack stat, base 106 special attack stat, and although it doesn't get too much coverage, I think it gets enough to do what it wants to do correctly. The best it can, at least. But yeah, whether it's a bulk up set, banded, life orb, specs even, it has a lot of things it can do. And so I'm really excited to see how this goes. I've used actually both of these mods already. Funny enough, in this generation, I have not used it in DLC 1 or post DLC 1, post DLC 2. I have not used either one of them though. So the fact that Iron Valley got Vacuum Wave is really nice for it too. But something to really know. So picks come around, and it's back to my pick again, and grabbing my first Terra, the one I really wanted to use coming into this to this draft, which is why I had to grab I couldn't grab my Terra users in the beginning because of the way the 25-point Terra budget. Because this Terra Pokemon is 10 points, meaning I only have 15 points left for other Terra, and I couldn't first of all use it on these guys because they're banned from Terra, because they would be absolutely busted with Terra. But that's why I chose like Pokemon that couldn't Terra for those first two picks. Because I want to get some high value with no Terra for them. And so I grabbed Diggersby. Yes, Diggersby is here. Diggersby is now nicknamed after Techno because Techno has me in fantasy again. Yeah, if you look at the stats, it doesn't look like much, right? But something, I guess like what it makes it really so good, the fact it gets huge power. And in this meta, it's allowed return, which is so clutch because that's something that I really missed with the cut moves being banned in a lot of leagues throughout Gen 8 and throughout a lot of Gen 9, I would say too. So, and with the Terra, this thing is crazy. Like I don't know if Endless is gonna be watching this or not, but without Terra, Choice Scarf Diggersby was doing 40%, I think, to Fizz Death Swampert. That's ridiculous. That's unheard of. So, and that was Scarf. So imagine with like a Life Orb or a Band. This mon hits so hard. It gets so many good setups too, like Swords Dance Agility. It could be run Scarf. It could be run Band. It gets another form of priority. So I already got 3 forms of priority, like 3 mons with different priority. So I don't have to be worried as much about offensive threats without speeding kind of thing, because I have ways to revenge them. and this Pokemon also gets momentum. So I thought this would be really good. I think I have enough breakers for the draft, to be honest, but because Diggersby powerful alone breaks most of the meta. I would say really there's only a couple mods that could wall both of them successfully, and especially since it's Terra, probably not anymore with the fact that it's Terra Diggersby, because I could just Terra to the type I want, specifically because it does get good coverage to hit those mons that might try to wall both. Like in bulky water, I could run Terra Electric Wild Charge and just probably 2 KO, like those kind of mons. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, so huge power Diggersby coming in here. Also does give me some hazards as well, spikes. Could be nice because Diggersby does forces a lot of switch, so there's a chance I could be running spikes Diggersby, but we'll see. Also gives me another knockoff user because Iron Valley has it as well, so Diggersby, Iron Valley, nice knockoff to get rid of Rocky Helmets that might be annoying for Palafin, which is really nice. So going into this next pick, I decided to grab some pivoting, so bulky pivot, specifically because I have so much offense right now. I felt like I needed a way to get these Pokemon in, and another removal option is nice. Not a removal option, hazard setter. Sorry, I wanted another hazard setter. I wanted a bulky pivot, and this Pokemon got a buff from DLC 2, so I decided to grab it. And this is Uxie, nicknamed after Sketch AV, the GOAT, right? This Pokemon provides, I think, a lot of utility for my team, and even though it's on more of a faster mon, I think it provides this team a lot of support that it needs to get things in. First of all, bulky U-turn, clutch. The addition now of Pain Split. Look at the HP stat. It's gonna recover a lot from Pain Split because it is not a really doesn't have that much HP to begin with. So being able to get a lot back from Pain Split is gonna be so amazing. It gets new moves like Psychic Noise, was really cool to stop recovery options from the opponent for a turn or two, which is really cool. It gets Encore, Stealth Rocks, of course, and Knockoff in National Dex. I don't know if it gets it in Paldea Dex anymore. I'm trying to remember, but in National Dex it has Knockoff, which is really clutch. Memento too, I believe. Yeah, Memento is going to be really clutch for it. So Uxie provides a lot of support for the team, and I think he's going to be really valued for the team. It's going to bring in those dark types in for as I click U-turn and get out to Iron Valley and claim a life. So I think that core right there is really nice for my team. Encore could be really nice for disruption and stuff like that as well. So yeah. And with my next pick, I decide to grab my other Terra user at 15 points. I was debating between a couple. There was a couple that were in the 15 pointers that I felt like shouldn't be in the 15 pointers. There's even one in 14 that I didn't think it should have been there, and that was Annihilate, and I unfortunately did not get that because that Terra Annihilate is broken at 14. But would have been double weapon typing, but it still would have been fine. But I decided to grab this Pokemon because I think this Pokemon fit really well, especially with Palafin. It helps a lot with breaking, destroying waters, and this Pokemon is a steamroller, and everybody knew in DLC 2 that this mon would be such a pain to prep for because of the buff it got, because it now has Terra Blast, which is something is the only thing it really missed. It was really missing. Obviously, having more coverage in general, but just having Terra Blast coverage is so clutch for this Pokemon because it could not touch a lot of types without Terra Blast. So yeah, and this Pokemon is Superior. Yeah, I got Superior. Terra Superior. So my Terra Captain's looking crazy. Even though I didn't even pick a top tier Terra Captain per se, I think they are amazing right there. Gives me another fast mon. It gives me Contrary, which by the way also want to note it's nicknamed after the Zoo Kid, I believe, who is the person who has me as well. So that's something to note. But yeah, Superior goes crazy. Give it a Terra Blast with Terra Fire, Terra Ground, Terra Water, whatever, and especially now Terra Stellar. So we got another buff on top of that, because Terra Stellar, if you don't know, if I use Terra Blast with when you use Terra Stellar Terra Blast, you get -1 attack, -1 special attack after using it. But Superior has Contrary, so it's really just getting a special attack and attack boost. So that's going to be so clutch, I think, and it's going to hit really hard. I think this is the Pokemon that really helps pressure out the water types, because as I mentioned before, Palafin wants to bring in those really bulky waters. I flip Tower out and get into Superior and just start clicking buttons, because that's what it does best. It clicks buttons. The stats might not look that impressive, but it knows how to steamroll like really quickly if the opponent is not ready for it, and it could break down a lot of walls, especially now with the Terra Blast coverage. So that's something to keep in mind. Gives me my first removal option as well. Gives me another knockoff user. Gives me what's it called? Speed control with Glare is what I meant to say. Which is, Glare is so stupid, by the way. I don't know why. Like, Glare is just such a stupid move. It's so good. But yeah, Superior. I'm so glad I got it. I think it's going to perform really well this season. I think as long as I support it well enough with the rest of the team, I think it's going to be really annoying to deal with in prep and in play as well, because now I have this special breaker. I have these already really two good physical breakers. I got Iron Valley, who breaks on both sides. We got Uxie, who gets like really good support to get these Pokemon in. And honestly, Palafin's going to be really good at supporting this too, because it's getting in all the bulky water, so Superior can just get a free Leaf Storm so he can start steamrolling. So, but next, with my next pick, I guess, I was looking at grabbing my speed. Whenever I go into a draft, I always try to get a Pokemon that's base 120 speed or faster. And I was coming to this draft, and I realized there was one that really fit the team pretty well, specifically Palafin. With Palafin, offensively, they help each other so much, I think. And they provide a really good flip turn, volt turn core, I guess you would say, or U-turn as well. So used to saying the volt turn core, but now it's flip turn as well, I guess, since last time I probably uploaded, right? But yeah, this Pokemon provides really good offensive capabilities, gets really good in terms of momentum, right? It gets a U-turn and Volt Switch. And this Pokemon is Kilowattrel, who's nicknamed after Smot. Now, Kilowattrel provides a lot for this team. First off, Electric Immunity for Palafin, right? My Electric Immunity right now, not that bulky, Diggersby. I know this isn't bulky either, but it gives me a second option for Electric Immunity. Also, Grass Resist. Boom. The two types that pressure Palafin, Kilowattrel has a good answer to it, basically. And then on top of that, if you look at it offensively, right? So Palafin brings in bulky waters, bulky grass. Those are the two that usually come in. I guess there could be Dragon 2, which I'm not even going to think about right now, but that's technically Pikachu, but I got Iron Valley as well for that. So, but the bulky waters, bulky grass, Kilowattrel destroys them. So like, I'm not that worried about that. Also, what's really nice to know is a combination of Kilowattrel and Superior, who are really good at pressuring Pokemon that like to defog, because of competitive and contrary. So to get those stat buffs, really kind of like forcing the pressure on like Pokemon that don't, so I don't have to, so I could block defog almost per se, not physically block it, but like kind of like suggest like maybe that isn't a great idea because this thing is gonna hit like a truck afterwards. And I think this Pokemon is very underrated. It would have been really good as a Terra Captain, but I think my Terra Captains are way better that I have right now. But I think Kilowattrel may not come to every game, but I think it's gonna it does really well, I think. And I feel like a lot of people underestimate how hard this Pokemon could hit. I was running calcs because I ran this back in a couple other leagues. Because this is I think the third time I've drafted Kilowattrel, I think, maybe fourth. But Kilowattrel obviously with the competitive boost, I think almost one shots Lando T, I think Max HP Lando T if I remember correctly, because of the competitive boost with Hurricane. It just hits so hard. So I thought this would be a really good pair for my team, and Even though it's not that bulky, I think it does really well. Also, there's also the really cool fact of Tailwind with wind power could be really cool for Kilowatt. So, but yeah, it gives me another momentum core. So as you can see, most of my team has momentum at this point, except for Superior and Iron. Pretty much my entire team, except for Superior and Iron Valiant, have momentum at this point. So I really like that. But at this point, I want to take advantage of the contrary, the competitive. When people try to go to defog, right? And so I decided to grab one of my hazard setters, very big hazard setters, and I was actually sniped on this round. I was really upset that I was sniped. I was like, maybe I could have waited and could have watched, or I could have grabbed this Pokemon instead, because it would have fit the thought process I was going through. Because you'll see in my next two picks why I was thinking of this. But yeah, so I wanted my spikes, like T spikes kind of situation. And I wanted my really good hazard setter, so I decided to grab Hisuian Quillfish, who's named after. Oh, that is not supposed to be Smart. That is supposed to be after Splurge, which, whatever. So Hisuian Quillfish, I was originally going to get Overquill. Somehow they're the same points. I think Overquill is a lot better. And it would have Overquill fit my team a lot better, as you'll see in a second, like after the next pick, why I say that. But Intimidate really good, Eviolite really good on it. Now it gets Pain Split now too, which is really nice. Spikes, T spikes, Bar Barrage, which is like the stupid move where like gets like the chance to poison. Plus, if it's poison, there's double damage. So I think this Pokemon is like good. I would have preferred Overquill, but it is what it is. I got sniped. I believe like the pick before me, actually, or was it I'm trying to remember exactly, but I think it was one of the people right next to me who sniped me on it. But yeah, I was really I thought this was really good, and I think the reason why I think this is going to be even better was because of the next Pokemon I'm going to have, but on the team. But yeah, so you can see kind of the idea though. Get some hazards up, really good hazard stack. Get the defog on Superior to get the evasion boost up, right? Or Kilowatt to get the competitive off. Yeah, I think that was really good. Something I wish I had was Pursuit. Pursuit would have been really nice on this for my for specifically I think for Iron Valiant, but fortunately doesn't get that. So that's it is what it is. But I think it fit the team well, especially with this next pick, which is going to be Pelipper. Now, as soon as I picked Kilowatt and I noticed I wanted Overquill, Hisuian Quillfish next, I was like, dude, Pelipper fits the team so well. give Palafin the extra rain boost right there. Give Kilowatt the 100% accurate Hurricanes, the Weather Ball. Give Hisuian Quillfish the Swift Swim, which is kind of the idea because I wanted Overquill originally because of the offensive aspect of it too, plus this hazard stack. But yeah, Pelipper also gives me removal, so Superior and Pelipper right now are my removal options currently. Solarmon get kind of bulky on the physical depth side. It's nicknamed after Volume, and I going to be just running Drizzle on it. I don't think I'm going to be running the other two, but I think it's really good. It gets me those Pokemon in because I get the slow U-turn out into something. Typically, like I could get like Digger's Beep, Palafin, Superior Kilowatt in to hit hard. As I said before, the two electric communities are going to be really clutch for Pelipper because of the fact that I have a 4x weakness to electric here on the team, and I already have Palafin on top of that. But I think that Pelipper provides this team with a lot of good support. Gives me another knockoff user, I believe, as well. Yeah, I'm surprised that I believe this doesn't get flip turn yet, which is crazy to me. But still happy to get to 4 momentum because U-turn is pretty clutch too. But it was a little bit on the pricey side, but I think it really fits the team well. With the Kilowatt, Hisuian Quillfish, Palafin, I think it supports them very well. I could even run Thunder on Iron Valley if I want to now. To hit things like, I don't know, Corviknight or etc. kind of a situation. So yeah, I think this is a really good pick for me. And at this point, this left me with, I believe, 10 points left. And I still don't have my Steel type, was the first thing that came to my mind. And I think I wanted another stealth rocker on my team was kind of the thought process because right now Uxi's my only stealth rocker. Even though I do have T spikes and spikes with Hisuian Quillfish and spikes with Diggersby, I felt like I wanted another stealth rocker to not put Uxie into this role of being the only stealth rocker on the team. Because I wanted Uxie to be able to do other things as well, like even like set up Uxie. So I decided to grab Tinkaton, who's nicknamed after Kit, who Kit has me in the fantasy as well. 9 points, really good spit F wall. Doesn't hit hard, but it has a move that hits extremely hard, a Gigaton Hammer. But I think that like Tinkaton provides support for me was kind of the idea. Fast Encore again, Stealth Rocker, Knockoff, Gigaton Hammer, Foul Play. Like, it's just an annoying mod to try to deal with. It's able to take hits on the special side pretty well, to be honest. And also the really nice is like the mode breaker, so I could get up rocks on any like magic bounce Pokemon or stuff like that, or I could like hit like levitate mons with like Bulldoze or something like that. Yeah, I think Tinkaton is really a nice Pokemon. It's crazy to me that Game Freak decided to make this Pokemon the one that chases after that hunts down Corviknights, but like it can't even touch Corviknight though, which is crazy to me. But I think like what Tinkaton provides me is some more special defensive pivoting, like a pivot, or not pivot really, but like a special defensive switch into things, because right now Pelipper and Hisuian Quillfish, if you look at it, they're more of like a physical defensive mons. Tinkaton gives me that special defensive wall per se. It gives me stealth rocks, knockoff, etc. Yeah, I think it just provides me a lot of support. And a lot of Pokemon that like to switch in on Tinkaton typically be like bulky waters or bulky steels, which getting knockoffs on them is going to be really clutch for Palafin or like Superior for the steel types. So I think that's really going to be clutch for it, to get rid of like for Palafin the rocky helmets and stuff like that. So, or like in the berries for Superior. So I think that's going to be really clutch for the team. And last but not least, we have 1 point left, and I decided to fill as many roles as I can with it, which like it's a 1 point mon. It gives me another Fairy Resist, which was another thing I wanted to note. It gives me another Rocker, so I'd have 3 Rockers. It gives me Spiker, it gives me another form of removal, and it is Carkle. It's nicknamed after Fluffy, who Fluffy has me in Fantasy. And now Carkle probably isn't coming to many games, but to be honest, but what it does, I think it does pretty well. It forces, it can force prep if need be. It's really annoying in terms for fairy types to deal with, I guess, right? So, and it's annoying for like grass types as well. I could run like some really cool weird set with like Steam Engine sometime or something like that. It gives me a fire immunity, which is really good for like something like Chiyu, because like Chiyu is gonna be so annoying. It gives me flame body, so you got to think twice about like clicking U-turn on me. But yeah, I think this Pokemon gives me a lot of support, even though it probably won't come to many games at all. But yeah, because it can't really like it. What it does is just support, I guess, right? Yeah, it was like a 1 pointer that I thought would help with the team, I guess, right? So yeah, yeah, that is my team here. I hope we're gonna do well this season. There was some snipes, of course, but that is what it is in draft. That's how it happens. And yeah, we are going to play Omar, I believe, for week 1, and I hope that goes well, and we'll see how this team goes. It's a very fun team aspect of the team, and especially with the Hisuian Quillfish Swift Swim, I think that's going to be so fun to watch if I'm able to pull it off. So, but I think this team going to hit like a truck. I think it's going to be really fast games with it, because it's the offensive powerhouses with like really good momentum pivoting. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. And Bash out.